Hello everybody, I'm the Whiskey Enthusiast. Welcome back to my channel. Hope you have a nice dram with you because tonight we have an interesting one, albeit a sample. This is the Compass Box Hedonism. I will talk about it. I just have the sample bottle of this. So I'll just first talk about the brand Compass Box. Compass Box is the brainchild of former marketing manager of Johnnie Walker, John Glazer. And he's been making waves ever since he started the Compass Box brand. What he does, he finds these, I'm not going to say forgotten, but less, the distilleries that people are less interested in. And if he gets products from them and blends them and produces in these beautifully designed bottles, I bet you have seen some or many Compass Box bottles, and they work with these companies. One of them is called Stranger and Stranger, and I think they did one of their bottles in collaboration or in honor of one of that brand. Anyway, so beautiful bottles. A lot of collectors are collecting just the bottles, and they do blended malts mostly, but they have normal blend Scotch as well. And this one is a blended grain. Not a single grain, a blended grain whiskey, which is just weird and not much heard of. Compass Box is also known for its transparency. You can go onto their website. You can read all about which one you're drinking. You can download a fact sheet. It shows you which malts are coming from which distillery and in what percentage and what casks are used. So they're very, very transparent. If you're into that, if you want to know where your whiskey is coming from or what it actually has, it's really good. So coming from a Diageo-owned brand like Johnnie Walker, I bet he was frustrated about the vagueness of information, or the lack of information they had to provide for one reason or another, and he worked against that, and he got into some trouble with Scotch Whisky Association and with regulations, but he's doing what he's doing, and he's being very transparent about it. Anyway, off to our whiskey now. The Hedonism is a blended grain Scotch whiskey. Now, grain whiskey is what you find in blended Scotch whiskies, like most Johnnie Walker's, Chivas Regal. Anything that you read blended Scotch has a malt, well, single malt or many, many malts from different distilleries, and many, many grain whiskies from other distilleries. There's also single grain whiskies, which comes from just like single malt, but this is grain whiskey from one particular distillery in one location from one, well, not one batch, but from one location. Blended grain is a blend of different grain whiskies from different distilleries. So before Hedonism, I've not heard of it. I don't know if I know any other. Now, grain whiskey, if you haven't tried before, I highly recommend you try a single grain whiskey alongside a blended Scotch, preferably like a blended Scotch with a grain whiskey that's been used in it, but it might just be a bit too much homework. Anyway, grain whiskey is very light, very floral, fruity, a bit shiny, a bit metallic, doesn't have as complexity as malt whiskies, and because it goes through the coffee stills rather than the classic pot stills, which is a faster distillation, and which means you get smoother whiskey, more easy drinker, but you lose some character. And the reason for that is grain whiskey distilleries are actually the workhorses of the industry. If you think about 90, maybe 95% of the whiskeys in the world are blended whiskeys, grain whiskeys are the backbones of that. They have to produce in mass quantities to support the demand. So it's a faster production, faster distillation. What you gain in higher percentage alcohol, meaning more output, and faster, you lose in character. Let's go on to this one. This is going to be a bit more information rather than, because this is, as far as I remember, wasn't very complex. So, okay, classic grain whiskey notes of vanilla, sugar, caramel, fruit, fruit gum, fruit lollipop, floral, metallic notes, very shiny, bit of oak spice. Now this is a non-age stated whiskey or no age statement whiskey. Somewhere I read there's whiskeys that are 25-year-olds in there, but not on the website. Interestingly, as transparent as they are with information, they're not giving anything about the age. So I don't know where some of those websites come up with the 25-year-olds information. So let's scratch that. Let's not believe that. Yeah. Honey, floral, fruity, vanilla, shiny, effervescent, light. A little bit grassy. Let's go into the palate. Nothing to it. Beautiful drinker. Very easy. Very light. It's 43% ABV. It could have been 20. It's so light. Oh, alright, I'm gonna go on to the finish now because finish is very good. Finish is salted caramel through and through. Just those, the caramel candies. Very, very sweet, very, very sugary. Not chewy, but it gives you the effect of that chewiness that you have when you put salted caramel in, when you eat salted caramel. And it's medium. Now let's go on to the palate again. Honey, salted caramel, light fruits, fruit juice, buttered honey on toast. A little bit of spice, nothing big. Fruit Loops, lollipop, caramel sauce, little bit of a maple syrup, very little. It's very enjoyable. Hedonism is correct in the name. It's not complicated. It's not supposed to be complicated. It's there to be enjoyed. And it is very pretty. It's a very pretty whiskey. Now, I like grain whiskies, but I like them quite old. If you get, especially independent bottlers do that from Port Dundas, Cameron Bridge. Where's the other one? Old English or Old Scottish? Anyway, the independent bottlers do like 21, 25, 28, 30, 33. Those ones are single grain. Old whiskies are really, really pretty. They have the characters from the oaks that they're in. And I find grain whiskies very open to taking the oak character because they're mostly ex-bourbon barrels. They don't tend to finish grain whiskies in different cask plays. So you get a very good cask character with a very light base for the whiskey, and it just, as it ages, it becomes beautiful. I really, really like it. Whenever I go to a whiskey bar, I always at least get one old single grain whiskey. Now this, we don't know the age. It doesn't feel that old. It's a very pretty whiskey, very light. I definitely recommend you try it. It's an interesting thing. Blended grain. You're not going to be disappointed with the taste. However, it is expensive. So I'm going to recommend this 2 Glencairns because for the price of this, you can get a old single grain whiskey, which in my opinion is better value for money. You normally get them around cask strength or at least 46% ABV, and the age statement. But it's definitely a good experiment. I highly recommend you try it. So that's why I'm giving it a 2 Glencairns. There's not very much complications going on here. It's one of those, you pour don't think about it, relax, and really enjoy yourself. Guys, thank you very much. This is it from me. If you like this video, please hit that like button. If you want to be notified when I post a video, hit that bell icon, and please subscribe if you want to. And also go check my Instagram account at the Whiskey Enthusiast. That's it from me. Stay safe, stay cheery, and just enjoy yourself. Cheers.